Morning, guys. I'm just going to give a few more minutes and then we will start with the webinar just to make sure that everyone gets on. Thanks. Okay, so I think we're going to start this webinar today. Back to basics, moving your 2D designs and 3D designs to Vault. Our agenda for today is we're going to look into how Autodesk Vault can be your single data management solution. We are going to look into how to get your data securely into Autodesk Vault, and then we will ensure that your data security with Autodesk Vault is secure. So, my name is Elandi Burger. I'm the Manufacturing and Process Plant Specialist. I've got a mechanical diploma, 11 years experience as a drawing office supervisor, and a fun fact, I play music, especially bass guitar and drums. So Baker Baines has evolved over the past 5 years from being an Autodesk reseller to a consulting company, and we set out to solve our customer problems through digital transformation. We help you to design and make a better world. In doing so, we offer various business process improvement consulting services, survey and design hardware and consulting, design software consulting, and we top it off with a blended learning approach. So to how we believe our customers can or should digest our information. So we're going to kick off with a poll. I would like to know, how are you currently managing your data? Do you use Windows Explorer? Do you use data management systems like a Vault? Do you have a homegrown system? Or don't you use any? Okay, it looks like all the votes are in, and I can see it's about a 50-50. Windows Explorer and data management like Autodesk Vault is used. We will discuss this a little bit later again. Okay, so let's look at data management in a single management solution.
Let's talk about a process that's probably familiar to most of you. That's the typical manufacturing process. Now, when we design a new product, we usually start out with a concept. Designers start quickly sketching out a bunch of ideas. Then they start to refine these rough drawings into more polished pieces.
Sorry guys, I just found out that the sound is not
process.
very nice, so I am just going to quickly fix something. I hope this won't bother you too much. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, and sorry, I see everyone finished the polls, so I'm going to just quickly close the polls as well. All right.
Let's talk about a process that's probably familiar to most of you. That's the typical manufacturing process. Now, when we design a new product, we usually start out with a concept. Designers start quickly sketching out a bunch of ideas. Then they start to refine these rough drawings into more polished design. A handful of them maybe. And then they'll go into design review with various decision makers, where engineers will finally get their first look. And that's where the question first arises. Will my design intent survive the engineering process? We can call this first part of the process the design phase. And it's really about the continual evolution of an idea, what the idea looks like, or how a user might experience it. Of course, there are various subphases within the design phase, like reviews and dimensioning. But traditionally in manufacturing, this has been a discrete phase that results in a finished output, the finished design. And after a while, this finished design and a bunch of binders get tossed over the wall into the next department, engineering. And that's where form and function begin to merge, which sounds easy, but often it's actually quite archaic because, as you know, engineers and designers don't always use the same software. So the engineering department might have to recreate the designs to work on them. And of course, communication over these walls is often difficult. The designers have made lots of big and small decisions about the look and feel of the product, the type of plastic, for instance, or the sweep of a curtain. And the engineers have no way of knowing which decisions are vital to the product and which can be changed so the creative vision can actually exist in the real world. So they go back and forth with design several times. And the final design turns out not to be so final. After all. Of course, this is just a simplified example because, as you know, there's no such thing as engineering the way most people would understand it. That generic term really includes mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, materials people, and on and on. So not only do engineers have a difficult time talking to design, they can have a rough go of it talking to each other. Clearly, the typical manufacturing process is far from perfect, but it's what many of us are used to. And let's not kid ourselves. The walls that separate design from engineering, not to mention manufacturing and marketing, have their uses. Consider what it would be like if design were only halfway through the brainstorming process and engineering was building models based on data that was practically guaranteed to be obsolete in a week. It would be a huge waste of time and money, unless there was some way to manage, revise, and share all of the data automatically, to capture the changes in real time, to break down the walls and allow collaboration around a single data set. that design, engineering, manufacturing, and even marketing could add to as needed. And that's what Autodesk Vault software does. It enables the secure and coordinated exchange of your idea throughout its evolution. Decisions don't get made in a vacuum. They get documented, recorded, and stored in the central location. Imagine the process we just talked about, but without the walls. Designers start to create, and engineers can see the ideas already. They can start to investigate tolerances or materials performance from the same data. And when the design changes, that decision gets processed and documented. And the engineering drawings get updated as well, and tooling and simulation and visualization. Autodesk Vault becomes the single source of all design information. So all that back and forth between design and engineering that once took weeks or months is now happening in real time. It doesn't even matter if they sit next to each other or on different continents. Designers start to think and anticipate like engineers, and vice versa. And even within the engineering department, the electrical team and the mechanical team can work on different aspects of the project at the same time. Or a coder, for instance, could write software for a robot before it was even built. So now you can see how the whole process can get accelerated dramatically, and yet safely, because everything gets documented. Even the bill of materials can get updated in real time, so that management has an accurate idea of costs. And that, in a nutshell, is what Autodesk Vault does. It helps you get your products to market more quickly, without losing the integrity of your creative vision. And here's the kicker. Here's what gets designers and engineers and manufacturers and marketing people really excited. When you purchase Vault, it's built right into the interface of the Autodesk software you already use. So you really don't even have to change the way you work. The whole manufacturing process just changes around you. Now let me say something to those of you who are wondering just how long it would take to start streamlining your engineering process with Vault. Hardly any time at all. That's right. Starting with Vault takes virtually no time. It works right out of the box. Which begs the question, why isn't everyone using Vault? Well, many are. Autodesk Vault is used by thousands of consumer product, industrial machinery, building product, and automotive companies. Because as you've seen, Autodesk Vault is much more than just an ordinary data management tool. It's a way to transform your entire manufacturing process.
Okay, so as we've heard now, Vault is a product data management software that improves productivity. Everyone works from a central source of organized data, collaborating, reducing errors, and saving time. So Vault installs quickly with easy administration. It integrates with any of our Autodesk design tools, and it connects internal and external teams. Let's see how Autodesk explains this in very quick and easy nutshell.
Sometimes it's not the project holding you back, it's everything else. It's searching through disorganized files. It's opening a file only to find it's been overwritten by someone else. It's chasing down signatures or change orders. It's working with cumbersome spreadsheets. Designing takes a lot of work that has nothing to do with designing. So how can you cut through the chaos and get back to the real work? Vault is a product data management solution designed just for engineers. It directly integrates with your CAD environment so you can find what you need quickly, access and configure files easily, and prevent scrap and rework. But it's more than CAD file management. It allows you to share views with others. It streamlines communication, versioning, and organization. In short, it equips engineers to work and collaborate more efficiently, which helps you deliver better products faster and at lower cost.
Okay, so for a long time, Vault has been a best-in-class data management system for storage of all of your products and project-related information. Whether you're an AutoCAD user storing drawings or an inventory user storing models, all these internal stakeholders have access to a centralized database of data and related information. File lifecycles and engineering change orders help users control access to data and track what changes needed to be made and why. Vault is a CAD integrated PDM. So that means, for instance, inside of AutoCAD, Vault is there. It represents itself up there in the toolbar. There are menu pull-downs showing the current status of files, as well as any links to supporting files. And we don't stop there. Most of the Autodesk portfolio will have a similar in-application access to Vault. You can just see here that all the different tools, mechanical, electrical, MEP, Map 3D, all of the AutoCAD tools have got Autodesk as part of the toolbar. Inventor, Civil 3D, Revit, Navisworks, and even 3ds Max. They are all integrated with Vault. So Autodesk Vault is a file versioning system that records the progression of all the edits a file has undergone. All files and their associated metadata are indexed in the SQL. The data management system that sits on the server, and it's searchable from the Vault client interface. So there are 3 different products in our Vault family, and the stack of products, well, it offers incremental functionality over the previous products. While the Autodesk Vault Basic is included with many Autodesk design applications, additional functionality is available based on the needs of your organization. The following products are part of the Autodesk Vault family. So we get Vault Basic, Vault Workgroup, and Vault Professional. In Vault Basic, you have file management tools, single workgroups, fast searching, Autodesk CAD integration, and design reuse tools. With the Vault Workgroup, you have all the functionality of the Vault Basic, plus file revision control and life cycles, utilities for batch plotting, automatic file naming, standalone client for non-CAD users, file and folder security, reporting, server-based DWF publishing. Now with the Vault Professional, you get all the functionality that you have with Vault Basic plus Vault Workgroup, and you also get to make custom objects, multi-site replication, search, view, and print web clients, advanced backup and Windows authentication, bill of material management, engineering change management, and it coexists with enterprise business systems. So how do we get our data into the Vault?
Okay, so let me show you how easy it is to get something checked in and out of Vault. I'm going to go to my Project Explorer and I'm going to go to Admin. Let's start off with one of our basic Windows programs, and I'm going to double click on the Vault checklist. Do you want to check it out now? Yes. You can see there's a tick. Let's move this a bit. There's a tick, and if you click on something else, it's also highlighted in blue. Then we now go to our Excel spreadsheet. I've decided I am not too happy with the blue and red on this one, so I'm going to change the colors of this blue. Let's make the color to make yellow again. Right, and now we go to our Autodesk Vault tab here at the top. And we are going to say check in. So you've got 2 options. Keep files checked out and close file and delete working copy. If you keep the file checked out, then you can carry on with your work, but the file will not be accessible by anyone else. That is a very good case for if you are working on the current document. You just want to make sure that the latest changes that you've done is on the Vault, but you are still going to work on it and you do not want someone else to touch it yet. Then you will click on this Keep Files Checked Out. If you say close file and delete working copies, it will obviously close the file and it is going to delete the copy that's on your C drive. Okay, so that is actually a very good one to tick. I am so used to ticking this box every single time because you can get confused in the future. If you have something on your local copy, but it was checked back in a while ago. Which one is now the latest version? What if someone else changed the one that was checked in on the system and I have an outdated version? Then you sit back at square one. So click or tick the close file and delete working copy. Add comments. This is very good practice. So I'm going to say that I changed the blue highlight to yellow. And say, okay, we want to continue because it's going to delete from the C drive. Yes. Excel will now close. I'm going to take it out of the way. Going to refresh my page. And now you can see the tick is gone. Nothing is highlighted in blue anymore. If you click on Vault Checklist now, and you go to your history, if this is unticked, that says show all versions, you will just see the latest version. If you tick that, you will see all the previous versions. You can see that the administrator started this document on the 18th at 1:30. And then Harley changed it. She highlighted the subdivisions. Then she changed it from yellow to blue. And then she went back from blue to yellow. She can keep track of what happened without even going into the actual file. Right, but let's look at Inventor, because that is the one that all of you are interested in. I am going to upload, let's say, challenge number 27. I'm going to open it up in my Inventor. Also note that this is all saved in the Vault working folder on the C drive. And this path is the path that is exactly the same as the path on your Vault. So when you go to your Vault, you will see that when I go to Project Explorer, open my designs, and there is my Inventor file and the skills assessment folder. And it's exactly like that, designs and skills assessment. At the top here, notice that you have your tabs, Factory, Get Started, Tools, Vault, and Collaborate. So it's asking me for my password. Now you can tick here automatically log into the next session. That is actually a very nice thing. You don't need to keep on adding passwords all the time. But I use different personas and therefore I will sign in every single time with my password. Otherwise, a lot of them get confused. Right, so let's say, okay. I'm not going to change anything to this assembly. I just want to show you guys how to check in. So I will go to my tab Vault. And you will see that I can log out of my Vault if I need to. I can open the Vault. I can place anything. I can update properties from here. I can find duplicates of this assembly if I need to. But all I actually want to do now is check it in. So I'm going to say check in. This says that it must be saved. So yes, all means please save. Right. In this case, this is the first time I'm checking this in. It doesn't give me the option to close the file and delete the working copies. So you need to remember that there's still a local copy on your C drive. You will have to delete it in the future before you get confused with the versions. Right. So I don't want to keep this file checked out. At the bottom here, very important, is the settings. In the settings, you can choose whether you want to include the children, the parents, only the direct parents, and then you can also set your visualization. And this is the preview that you will see in Vault. So you can create it during your check-in, send it to the job server, or do not create. It's up to you how you want to do it. Create during check-in is my preferred method. So okay. And I'm going to add a comment. Now, this is the first time this one is going to Vault. So I'm going to say this is first vaulting. And okay. So now the file sync is in progress. Note that there's 13 files that are being checked in at the moment, not just the one that we have open. When we now go to Vault, we go to our skills assessment, and that was challenge number 27. If we click on number 27, it will show us that this is the versions, this is the history we have, and now we can see every single part that is used by this challenge number 27, and even subdivisions of it. So where is this used? Nowhere, right? Challenge number 27 is the full assembly. It's not used in any other assemblies. When you go to professional, Vault professional, you will be able to add change orders. So when you want to give someone an instruction, you can do it through a change order. You can link it to your file, and they will have the file, they will see what they're supposed to do, and they can submit the change order once they're done. But that we will discuss in other webinars in the future. And again, your preview. So now you can see what this preview looks like.
Okay, so now you saw how easy it was to check files in and out. And we are going to touch now on the security with the Autodesk Vault to ensure your data, to secure your data, not ensure, secure. Okay, so when I talk about a role, you have a role to access Vault. Now, in this little comic at the bottom, the little guy says, this is a secret vault, higher security in the brain. And then nobody has ever broken in to it and nobody ever will. And that guy was thinking, well, let's just try, open it up, it's unlocked. And then the guy's like, don't touch that. So he left the vault actually open. And this is where roles and responsibilities comes in. You need to decide who will be able to open up this vault and who not. Okay, so you can either check in and check out files. You can only have read access. You might have the administrative access, that you can do anything what you want to. When you get to Vault Workgroup and Vault Professional, there's a lot more roles that can be defined compared to the Vault Basic roles. They are a little bit restricted. Now, Vault Basic you will get with your Autodesk products. So it will come with your Inventor or AutoCAD or whatever installations that you have. You get that for free. But if you require more roles to be added, more permissions to be added, and then like I earlier said, change orders or life cycles, then you will have to step up and get a Vault Professional. So the Vault roles and permissions basically gives permissions to certain people. So you can assign roles to people from a Vault level all the way down to the file level. So security is a major part of all Vault applications. Vault lifecycle security is always adapting, and Autodesk continues to add security and role functions from their requests that they get from their clients. So all security starts with users and groups. You assign roles to certain users and or groups. So roles are Vault Global General Control, and the roles are defined by login, read, write, move, delete, rename, and copy. So that's some of the permissions that people can get. So the Vault administrator will be responsible to set up all users, groups, and rules. In your toolbar, click on Tools, Administration, Global Settings. And here you will set up your users, groups, and roles. Best practice is to work through your roles first to get an idea of what the permissions will be and how many groups you will need. So the Autodesk Vault Server is a secure database. A user must have an account to access data and must be assigned appropriate user permissions. Permissions are assigned based on roles. When more than one role is assigned, the permission set is the union of the roles. And we can extend the permissions of the users to groups. Even though the dialog box starts with users, then groups, and then roles, it's easier to create your groups from the roles before you add it to the user. So when defining the roles, you might need an organogram. Decide from the top level down who should be responsible for what and who is supposed to see what in your Vault. Make sure that the users know what their permissions are, so that you do not want to make someone mad because they didn't know that they didn't have the permissions that they thought that they're supposed to have. Okay, so just basically, the roles on the right-hand side is all from Vault Professional. And if you want to give someone full control, like in this group of people, I decided the 2 circles in red, the people that's supposed to be the administrator. This will typically be your design manager, or if you're going to use this in your company where the tender department or the salespeople and everyone else is responsible, then you're going to define a manager to work on this and a backup person, an administrator that can be trusted to stick to the standards. So I've decided that the 2 people in green is going to be just document consumers, and they will have read-only access. This is typically your procurement people or your workshop, people that should not be able to make any changes without consulting with the design department. And here I've just grouped all the people. So I have about 4 or 5 groups there. And decided who's supposed to have what permissions in this. Like this, you will group your organization and your department to see how many groups you will need and what the roles for each group is going to be.
Okay, guys, let's look. Okay, guys, let's look at permissions, roles, users, and groups. We're going to go to Tools, Administration, Global Settings. In Global Settings, you get Security, Change Orders, and Integrations. We are not going to touch on integrations and change orders in this webinar. We will do that in the near future when we dive deeper into Vault. For security, for now, we've got manage users, manage groups, manage roles, and configure. This is basically if you want a color to be different for your administrator compared to other users. And that is helpful if you're someone like me that has more than one persona. And sometimes I log in as Harley, sometimes I need to log in as the administrator. And then the bar will just indicate to you in what level you are working at the moment and what the user is that you're using. So when you go to manage users, here you have a whole list of users that I've created already. You can add it, or the person that creates your Vault server can add it from there. But if there's a new person that is joining your company, it's very easy to add it here. So I'm going to add a new user, and I'm going to call her Yanni. Volume, username, Yanni. I can add an email address if need be. And then password. So I'm going to give her a password, which she will be able to change when she logs in. Okay, the roles. We will come back on the roles and the vaults. Well, in this case, we only have one vault. You are allowed to have more than one vault, and a person can have access to more than one vault. So you can have, for instance, 2 different departments, like I had at the previous company we worked, and there were 2 vaults, one for each department. And I had access to both vaults just in case something happened and they needed assistance on their side. So you just grant the people admin to the different vaults, and the groups we will add later as soon as we've discussed now the groups and the roles when we get there. At the bottom here, there's enable user. If you unclick this, this person won't be able to get into Vault. If it's clicked, the person can work in Vault. All right, so okay. So at the top here is just your normal toolbar for file, view, actions, and help. So if you click on file, you can choose new and exit. View, you can view by list, by vault, by role. You can show the find panel, show enabled users only, and refresh. For actions, you can edit. You can import the main users or promote the main users. And then you have the help bar if you are struggling with anything with regards to user management. Fine. can now at the bottom, you can add the new user like I've just done, refresh, print direct, and print preview. So if we click on print preview, it will show you basically what you saw on the screen. Just shows you this is all the people, and this is just in case you would like to, I don't know, maybe show management that who is the people that's all part of the vault. All right, then we've got manage groups. We can add groups. I've added a group for admin, for training, for webinar. Let's say I'm going to add a group for a campaign. New. So the group, I'm going to call it campaign. That's I'm going to give access to all the people that's helping me with the campaign for this year so that they are able to see those specific documents that we are working on. I'm not going to give it an email address. This email address will be like if you're a support or a sales department that's got one email address, you can add it here, but it's not necessary. At the moment, these roles that you see here, I'm not going to add them. I first need to discuss it with you when we get to roles, and then we will add it. We can add the vault in the meantime because I only have one vault. And if you want to link it to any other group, you can link it here. So you can choose which one of these other groups will be the same as this one, or all of them. Now, this will make more sense when we get to the life cycle webinar in a few months from now. So now I'm going to add the group members. I am going to add Harley as a group member, Bianca as part of the team for the campaign, Yanni as part of the team, and Danielle is part of the team for the campaign. And Rich, no, I don't think I'm going to make Rich part of the campaign, so I'll just remove him again. And say, okay, there we go. Okay, and our group is set. So now we close this and we go to roles. Now, please remember that Vault Basic that you get as part of your AutoCAD or Inventor package does not have all of these roles. This is Vault Professional, so it has a lot more roles that you can allocate and responsibilities that you can allocate to people. I am not too sure how many they have in the Vault Basic, but when you have training with us and or we install your Vault Basic, we can run you through your roles and discuss which ones you're supposed to use at what level. Okay, so roles, administrator, once again, full control as we've discussed. Then you get your change order, change order editors on different levels. You get different administrators, different levels. You get content center editors, you get custom object people with different levels of responsibilities, document people with different levels of responsibilities, ERP managers, item editors, different levels, item reviewers, project admin, and security admin. Now this tested role or tester's role that I created at the bottom, it's one that I created myself. All you need to do is say new role. I'm not going to create a new role now. I'm just going to quickly double click on this role to show you what I've done. I gave it a description, just calling it limited design control. Well, the more information you can put there, the better, obviously. But yeah, I just decided to call it limited design control. And I gave the people some access. So permissions, let me look at something else. Let's say file delete conditional. Add that to the list. So my role that I'm creating here, this person, limited design control person, will have access or permissions to change, order, create, file delete conditional, file promote, file version delete conditional, manage numbering schemes, manage site configuration, and properties rebuild index. You can go through this whole list and then find whatever suits you and what you would like to add to this specific role if need be. Let's say okay. and there's the testers role. Once again, at the top, I'm not going to go through them again. It's your toolbars. They do exactly the same as all the others I've explained up to now. All right, so now we have created our roles. Now we can manage to go back to our groups. Let's go to our group admin. Oh, it was already added, sorry. The campaign one was the group. Okay, so the roles I want to add to this campaign is the testers role. And I want to add, let's see. Let's give them ERP manager as well, just for the fun of it. All right. So now this group, the campaign group with Harley, Danielle, Bianca, and Yanni, they have access to ERP management and the testers roles that I've added to them. Say OK and close. If we go back to our managers, our management, our user management, and let's go and click on Yanni, double click on Yanni. So you can see that when we add her to the group in the group management, it already pulls through to her as a user in her user profile. But I can now also, on top of that group, I can give her some other permissions as well. So let's say I'm going to make her the item reviewer. Okay, so she's not just only going to be in the campaign group, she's going to have item reviewer on top of all of those responsibilities that she got in that campaign group. Let's take someone else, Andile. Andile is part of the group that's for webinars. I didn't assign him to the Vault yet, and the roles, I want to add him as configuration administrator as well. Let's just make it another one too, just for the fun of it, document editor. So now Andile will be able to go into my files and folders, and he will be able to, he will be a configuration administrator, and he will have document editor level 1 rights on my files. So, okay, close, and close again. So there you have it. So now certain people will be able to do certain things to my files, and others will only be able to see it. You can even add permissions down to a folder level. So let's go to security. Add users or groups. And in this group, I only want a whole group, the campaign group. I want the campaign group to have read access. They can modify, allow, but not delete. So deny delete, it's my folders. I don't want them to be part of deleting anything. They can read it and they can modify it if they want to. I can track what they've done, but as soon as it's deleted from the system, I won't see it anymore. So here you can add users or groups, and here you can remove them. So if I click on remove, they're all gone. Click again on permissions, let's go down, it was the campaign one, and say, okay, so the campaign people will have on this design folder, they will have access. Sorry, to read, I'll allow, modify, I'll allow, delete, I'm going to deny. Say OK. So please specify how to propagate permissions to child folders. Do not propagate to child folders, propagate only changes, and propagate entirely. Okay. So do we want to have them to have access to all the children folders or not? I'm going to stick with propagate only changes, and voila. You can even take it down to the drawings or documents. You can even take it as far down as that, but it's advisable not to do that. The more permissions you set up, the more difficult you make it for people to collaborate. So you really need to think through, do you want to give people permissions? And why do you want to give them permissions? So if they need permission to work on a specific drawing, why not, why take it away at the end of the day? You can track who changed what, like I've shown you earlier. Let me quickly go back to my admin. This is the one I've worked on the most. You can track who worked on this. So you can see, it's already 1, 2, 3, 4 times that, oh, there it is, versions at the top, that someone changed it. They did put the comments, I could see it. Give them the access to see stuff. Give them the access to change stuff, but try not to give them access to delete anything. Give that to the administrators. If they really made a mess of something, you ask an administrator, please delete the file, and as quickly as that, they can delete it. And you know that whatever is going on in this vault is what is real and tangible that you can use.
Okay, so we would like to hear from you. Are you struggling with losing or having data being overwritten? You can just answer yes, no, or not sure. A case where people might not be sure is where you are a drafts person and you're reporting to a more senior person that is actually having the issues, then you might not know if you have the data issues or not. Gonna give about 5 more seconds. Okay, so in closing, we have looked at Autodesk Vault as a single data management solution. We looked how to migrate your data securely into Autodesk Vault. And we have ensured your data security with Autodesk Vault. We can help you to assess your business data management systems. We can assist with training if you should wish to implement Vault, and we can consult with you on your data migration and help you to design and make a better world. So the last question of today. I would really like to know, would you like one of our team members to contact you to discuss your data management and maybe assess your system? It's also an easy one. Yes, no, or you will contact us whenever you are ready. I know most of you are already tired of hearing about COVID and how it affected the world and how everything needed to change, but I can really comment that we had a lot of customers that changed over to Vault because of this pandemic. It made it a lot easier for them to collaborate with their people, especially when the people were working from home. And even if they were in the same office, because of social distancing, they were trying to keep away from each other, it just made it easier to check in files in and out and to see who's busy with what on the system. You can draw reports and things from Vault that makes it easy to see who's been working on what. But yes, we will have more Vault discussions in upcoming webinars. And I'm going to close the polls. So I just quickly want to explain to you our iAdopt system. It's how we assess, consult, and educate your environment. So iAdopt is a unique consulting methodology to help our clients. We help you to develop and implement a digital strategy and transform. We help you to optimize your business processes and your workflows. We help you to adopt your technology, and we can help you design and make a better world. So the benefits of this is that we focus on solving your problem. We deliver tangible outcomes, and we give a holistic view, and we address all of your issues within your organization. And we go beyond the CAD environment. It is not just for AutoCAD and Inventor. We go beyond that and assist on all types of consulting services that we can give you. Help you with your data management, like I said earlier, so that there is more flow in your organization when it comes to designs especially. And then it includes a change management result. So I almost missed this one. This is the way that you can get in touch with us. We as Baker Baines, we are online on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube with the following parts that can be followed and names that you can just Google or look up on Facebook. And then we have a support system from 8 o'clock in the mornings to 11:30 at night. With our normal office telephone number, you can just ask that you need to speak to support, and or the email address. It's support@bakerbaines.com. So I want to thank you guys for attending this webinar. I know there were a few hiccups, but it will definitely be sorted out in the future. And I would like to invite you to please attend the next webinars that's coming up. It's not all going to be on Vault. We are working on 2D to 3D at the moment, and there will always be a little bit of data management as part of our webinars for the rest of the year, so that you guys can see the benefit of having your data managed properly. So we solve our customers' problems through digital transformation. Like I said for a few times, we help you to design and make a better world. Thank you very much. Speak to you again. Bye.